Welcome, everybody.
Hey, how's it going? Episode 1. All right.
Here we go. Episode 1. We're here for the Honor Ramble. This is a lot of fun. I am Kyle Starkz. This is the wonderful Auntie Collins.
I am your queer Auntie Collins, remember? Oh, my goodness. Well, Kyle, what are we here to do?
Oh, we are here to talk for, I'm not sure how long, but a little while. We are, Ed Freeze is right, we are here to ramble about Ring of Honor tonight. Tonight was episode 50, actually. they're having episode 50. We have episode 1.
I know. I feel like that's like kind of perfect. It's 1 year anniversary, with AW ticking over Ring of Honor. So why not jump into the game? I mean, come on. Hey, who are these people? Oh no. Ed. Hi, Ed.
I feel like I'm dangerously close to Ed's age, actually, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. But
no one knows my age. So I could be 50. I could be 19. I could be, fresh out the womb. Who knows?
Oh, man. There you go. Well, I tend to date myself when I respond to Ian Riccaboni's references, so that tends to give the game away pretty quickly.
He has me blocked. I have no idea why. I feel like we should campaign for Ian Riccaboni to unblock me, because I have never responded to anything that he said. I have never added him. I've never done anything except give him praise within like the last couple months. I think when I went to go at him, I was like, I'm blocked? Me? What troll thing did I say? What did I do?
Oh, who knows? Maybe it spoke ill of Allentown or the Steel Cities there. I don't know. Maybe it's made some rough things to say about Pennsylvania. I don't know.
Listen, as someone who lived in Pittsburgh for a year and a half, I feel like I can wear my Pennsylvania badge right next to my New Jersey badge. It's adjacent, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, this was looking forward to doing this. We'll say this is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I share Astrid's bewilderment at this.
I don't know.
But I've been looking forward to this first episode. I've been looking forward to getting to talk ROH with you, getting to be on camera with you, and the Tag Talk legend.
The Tag Talk legend. That is Tag Talk legend. There's so many cool things coming down the pipe, but I'm so very excited. And when Kyle had reached out to me saying, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" I immediately said yes. There is no way that with Ring of Honor being one of my favorite wrestling shows to watch, there was no way I could turn you down at all.
Oh, much appreciated. I am you were my first choice, and always glad to hear it.
Wait, next week is Valentine's, so
yes,
get it all mushy now.
Well, you're not going to be here next week, I heard.
I know. So yeah, so we are starting this podcast. This is episode 1, and for episode 2, I bought concert tickets. I never go to a concert ever, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to a country show. Go to a country show, and yeah. So I won't be here, but I'll be in spirit, and I'll jump into the chat while we're waiting in line. I'll send you a little,
there you go,
piece of my heart with you.
There you go. And we'll have another little. We'll figure out at some point.
Yeehaw! Listen, we had some yeehaws during this episode.
We have.
Oh my gosh.
Billie Starkz almost yeed her last haw, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to that in a little bit, but yeah, there's no better opportunity than to dive right in. Then let's get to it.
All right.
And we kicked things off right in the ring, as the Workhorsemen were in tag team action against Brillante RB and Sayrus GT.
What are your thoughts of the Workhorsemen?
Love them so much.
Yeah.
Oh my, criminally.
They're kind of what the epitome of what I think Work of Honor is. I mean, a Work of Honor.
Yes.
Wow.
Honestly, I like that.
Work of Honor.
Get on Anthony Henry and JD Drake. Pitch that as a hashtag. Hashtag Work of Honor.
But yeah, the Workhorsemen, I was skeptical of them and how they would place in AEW. it's really difficult to kind of like make yourself mainstream, make yourself, uh, huge in that tag division with how many tag teams are in AEW, but seeing them in Ring of Honor, seeing them really develop. I mean, I have such a soft spot for JD Drake. I mean, just the way that I don't understand how a big bodied man can do the things that he does and do it so well. But
and make it look effortless.
right. So seamless, so effortless that his chemistry with Anthony Henry is so good. Like good, great, amazing,
Yes.
so good. But what did you think of this match?
This was I mean I had never heard of either of these luchadors before, and in general that was a under 10 minutes we have our first clippable hashtag Work of Honor. We're gonna get that rolling.
You're welcome.
When I see Anthony Henry or JD Drake use it, we're gonna call that one a victory for Honor Ramble.
I love it.
No, I hadn't heard of these two before. I can't find anything on Brillante. Sayrus has just sort of worked freelance, different lucha promotions here and there, things like that. And it was about as you'd expect.
Yes, we do need a
campaign
we,
to get. Yes,
yes,
we'll
campaign. Too. Let's make sure it's like let's go. I mean, my dream one day is to meet Ian Riccaboni and tell him how amazing he is, but that would be a dream.
There you go. We'll make it happen. And this was about what you'd expect. 4 minutes, clock in, punch out, just like they do. And the Workhorsemen get another win to get back on track in the tag division Ring of Honor. Now that the tag team titles are actually in Ring of Honor again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to people like you and me that are fans, they always mattered, but they certainly never showed up on TV.
Well, that's the thing that really dampers a promotion is when they have these prestige titles, these, I guess, tangible pieces that wrestlers can attain to, that this is something that they work for. This is like all of their hard work, energy, blood, sweat, tears, everything has gone into this tangible piece. And when you don't even see it on your television show, it loses its luster a little bit. It's like, the forgotten child. You kind of forgot it exists. And for someone like myself who has object permanence, like if it's not right in front of me and you're not telling me what it is, I forgot about it. I forgot. Like
yeah, no, 100%. Out of sight, out of mind is absolutely a thing. Astrid, kind of topic. Eddie hasn't been in ROH since winning either. I feel like he has. I'm double checking right now to confirm that. I know that Eddie has defended. No, I'm sorry. Those have all been on AEW properties. Those have not been in ROH. He had the Proving Ground match at Final Battle, but that was obviously before World's End. Yeah. So yeah, everything has been. That's right. I could have sworn that he was there.
I'm going to give you the exact. Yeah, Proving Ground on the 15th of December. Yep.
Yeah, at Final Battle against Anthony Henry.
Yep.
I could have sworn that he showed up, and I must have mistook it with something else. That's what happens when you get old. Your memory starts to go to hell.
Yeah, he hasn't been on since episode 42, so it's been some time.
It has, and there, to a certain extent, the Continental Classics, the Continental Classic definitely complicated that for Eddie. They did continue to try to bring him in to run Proving Ground matches here and there. And Ian Riccaboni even talked up the Proving Ground matches as saying that if someone were to last the 10 minutes with him, he would get a shot after the Continental Classic is over, even if it wasn't at Eddie specifically, because Ian is so good at tying those little things together.
He's so good.
Oh, thank you, Astrid.
I did get to watch Eddie during the ROH tapings in Orlando. That's awesome.
Need to see more of those. I would like ROH to go back to Orlando to tape there. I really would. And studio tapings are such a wonky thing like that, but in ROH's case, I think it really, really worked for them.
I think that it's such a niche crew, right? When you see those people go into those studio things, you kind of see the same couple people, but it kind of makes it kind of special for me because I mean, when I'm looking at these arenas and we all know that they're taping either before or after Dynamite or before or after Collision, the arenas are a little like a little sparse, a little
Yeah.
and they're not seeing amazing wrestling. And I totally get it. A couple hours in an arena with, uncomfortable seats, maybe the guy behind you is intoxicated. You don't want to be there the whole time. I totally get it.
Oh.
But it just sucks because I feel like there's such talent that needs to be seen and the pieces of their story meld together that really brings that story. And I know that you had mentioned with the Workhorsemen starting everything, it was a 4-minute match. I was trying to look up how long exactly.
I clocked it at 4:08.
Yeah.
But yeah.
4:08.
I don't know if that is actually called working 9 to 5, but that is what Caprice said. So I'm going to roll with it.
And listen,
I trust Caprice.
They're getting paid whether they go 4 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever. They're making their money and they're doing their thing. They're getting the work done. And I do like that they are showcasing, like you had mentioned before, these lucha wrestlers, because I do think that lucha is a huge part of AEW and ROH. It is that little wrinkle in the history of ROH where luchas did come in, and it's always so fun to watch.
It wasn't technically Lucha Libre, I guess. I mean, it kind of was, but the semi-main event on the very first Ring of Honor show was IWA out of Puerto Rico, their Intercontinental title between Eddie Guerrero and Super Crazy. So ROH goes all the way back to 2002, and we're showcasing wrestling from Puerto Rico and Super Crazy, who is just
phenomenal,
fantastic. Oh my goodness. And obviously Eddie Guerrero, and then you had the lucha influence from when they ran Supercard of Honor in Texas, the fourth Supercard of Honor, when Jerry Lynn won the title. That was out of the Texas area.
Jerry
Lynn. Because that was when WrestleMania was in Dallas. So like ROH keeps having these moments where they, and it's always been a through line through the promotion. It's never been a lucha promotion per se, but you always see those bits and pieces.
Exactly.
So, yeah, this was fun of the Workhorsemen. Hopefully we get more of them. Hopefully we get them moving into possible title contention. We never got them running back their match with the Briscoes like I wanted, but because I saw them work the Briscoes one time for Warrior Wrestling in South Bend, Indiana, and it was absurd. It was so good, and ever since the Briscoes were coming in, I wanted them to run that back with the Workhorsemen. We never got it, but they can still do some great things with the Workhorsemen, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So speaking of lucha, the king and queen of lucha, I guess, with Johnny TV and Taya Valkyrie, and trying to figure out Dalton Castle's friend.
I got so excited about this because Dalton opened the door.
I was waiting for this.
He opened the door and he was wearing the Smooth Sailing Ashley Remington hat.
Oh my God.
That was such a little Easter egg for me. That was my Easter egg. I'm going to claim that one.
Was for Kyle. Nobody else can have that.
I don't know, but I'm staking my. If someone else wants to join me, go ahead. I'm staking my claim to it though, because I remember watching Dalton Castle in his previous incarnation as Smooth Sailing Ashley Remington in Chikara, who was the nephew of Darkness Crabtree, who when Darkness Crabtree finally died, he left his nephew all this money, and his nephew was Ashley Remington, who he used the money to become a yacht club member, and he had like the smooth island music and the little captain's hat, and he pointed with finger guns, and
this is incredible.
He would give people fruit baskets after he beat them. I swear I'm not making any of this up.
This is incredible. I'm all for it.
And he was such a sportsman that he always broke on one.
Wow.
Wow. Go back to Chikara.
JR Tolkien character.
I'm not. Now I'm just. Oh man, this is going to drop into one of my group chats on Facebook now, and it's going to carry on Twitter now, and it's going to go into a horrible direction.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but if you have access to it, go back and check out Chikara. I want to say seasons 13 through 15 or thereabouts, and that was where Ashley Remington popped in for Chikara, and just wonderful stuff. Bryce Remsburg is there as an official, of course, and there was an Atomicos match where his finger guns accidentally went off and he shot Bryce Remsburg.
Oh my god.
I need to do a podcast just about Chikara.
All right,
because that promotion was insane.
I'm down. Let's go. Oh my gosh.
All right, but in any event, this is why we call it Honor Ramble.
Yeah,
we go
Honor Ramble.
all
We're
over the
just
place.
Rambling. We're just rambling.
I got so excited. Dalton was wearing the hat.
Yes,
but we do establish Dalton is not allowed to interfere, or he will be suspended. And Lexi Nair, intrepid reporter that she is, points out that Dalton's friend's locker room is apparently the laundry room. The name does. Yes, it does.
Yes. Well, I really have enjoyed the weekly builds with Johnny TV, Dalton Castle, Taya, and now Dalton's friend.
And Lexi is almost as much a character in this as anyone else is.
Yes. And we get to see Jerry Lynn. So I have such a soft spot for Jerry Lynn. So, but.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on this? Or are we going to talk more about it later when we get to the reveal?
Yeah, we could talk about it later as we get to the reveal. I kind of want everyone else to tell me their feelings about the reveal, because it made me giggle a lot.
It was tremendous. I guess we'll move on to that in a little bit. Our second match, All Ego Ethan Page continues his push towards the Ring of Honor World Television title in singles action against Aaron Solo tonight. Ethan got the pin. I had the time at 7:28 with the Ego's Edge. What'd you think of this one?
So before Ethan Page came to AEW, sorry, I was trying to figure out how to say this. Before he came, I had seen him live, and I didn't know much about Ethan Page. And then seeing him pop up here or there, and then all of a sudden in AEW, and then he kind of went away after he got all this push behind him. Seeing him with another great match. I'm not, we all kind of know Aaron Solo's, purpose here to take the pin, to, make other people look good. But I think that Aaron Solo did a great job of making Ethan Page look so dominating. I really enjoy Ethan Page's athleticism through everything, but we're setting up, we're getting some more momentum for Ethan Page, and I really enjoy it. He's very, very cool, very charismatic, so I'm for it.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, Astrid, I agree
Yes.
wholeheartedly. It is super nice to see Ethan getting a spotlight. You have to imagine that we're building to Ethan eventually taking the TV title off of Kyle Fletcher, which will be great. Just depend,
I'm
we'll
excited
see
for
when we
that
do it.
match.
Yeah,
Like,
that's going to be
whenever that
excellent.
is.
I'm trying to think of when it might be because let me think. Death Before Dishonor probably won't be until the summer, probably July or August. We might I imagine we'll run Supercard probably in the next 2 months or so. We usually run that right around late March, early April.
Yeah.
We run right around WrestleMania time.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure it was it the same weekend, that Friday before WrestleMania last year?
That sounds right. I believe it was. I remember being irritated that it was on a Friday.
Yeah. There's something about for me, being Pacific time, those afternoon 2-3 p.m. start times on a Friday, that's I guess don't tell my boss, don't tell my
Yeah, there
boss
you
I
go.
have it on my phone.
Yeah, right. Well, it's okay. It's getting to be about that time of year when people are watching the NCAA tournament on their phone at work anyway. So what's the difference?
Exactly.
See, I can justify this for you. It's great. No problem.
Perfect. I'll tell my boss. Yeah.
Now, and this was fun. I liked that. I think you can definitely circle. If it's me, you circle Ethan Page versus Kyle Fletcher for Super Card of Honor. I think you put the title on Ethan there because Kyle Fletcher is getting sucked into the Jericho vortex.
That's
on
my
AEW.
fear. And it's painful to watch, but I understand it because Mark Davis is, out at injury. So he has to land somewhere. But it's not my favorite.
It was what it was. I'm so the match was what it was. It was perfectly serviceable. I actually didn't have many notes for it, despite being a 7.5-minute match. It was perfectly serviceable. Solo had some good stuff. Solo continues to be an underrated guy. I wouldn't hate seeing him string together a couple of wins, especially when if Ethan wins the TV title and run it back with some stakes and with, I don't know, if you build up Solo to a point where he has a.
I just like this is where like kayfabe and real life kind of blend in together, because a lot of people know that Aaron Solo and Bayley used to be together, and hearing rumors that he didn't treat her very well. So it's like it's hard to get behind someone that I'm not sure about more morally, and I want to like him because he does play that jobber, if there is such a thing, in Ring of Honor. Whereas like John Cruz, we see play that role so often, or a lot of other wrestlers in the AEW ROH vortex, I'm guessing. But I think it would require a little bit more than just, hey, I'm good at wrestling, hey, I'm good at taking bumps. You have to have a little bit more than just having a piece of blue hair, but I don't want to be that super critical, and I feel like this is probably going to come and bite me in the butt later, and someone's going to clip this and be like, ha, look at that, Auntie Collins was wrong about Aaron Solo. Prove me wrong, get me excited about watching an Aaron Solo match, and not just when he's up against someone else I'm like, oh, this is a good win for the other guy. It's a good step for the other guy. Make me care.
That strikes me as entirely fair, and and it doesn't. I don't say that in the sense that I would like to see him push to the moon tomorrow, but I am intrigued to
Right.
see. But I am intrigued to see what because he does get some good shine in these types of situations, even when the opponent is clearly getting the win, and he has been so directionless for
Right.
almost his entire run that I'm not sure what he would do with any added
I,
impetus, and
and that's also the thing with,
that does intrigue me a little bit.
it's learning who you are. Make me believe it. That's all. And I think that Ethan Page, going back to him, it's like he makes me believe it. And it's not just his charisma. He's a great wrestler. He looks great. He plays that part. Like, he looks like a wrestler I want to cheer for, even when he's being a little cheeky little, naughty boy,
And
like, I still want to cheer for him. I still.
oh, and driven veteran Ethan Page against smarmy asshole. I just swear, I just about to say against smarmy young asshole.
He is a naughty
Kyle
boy.
Fletcher.
Yes. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
that dichotomy will be a lot of fun.
It's the naughty Canadian boy versus the naughty UK boy. Like,
Aussie.
he's from Australia?
I'm not sure if he is or not, but I assume he is.
Where is Kyle Fletcher from? Is someone going to tell me first?
Yeah, he is Australian. I thought he was. Then you're making me second guess myself.
Australian. No, it's okay. That's why Google exists. We Google. I can get things wrong. Listen. When he was paired with Scorpio Sky,
the men of the year were great, and
they were
we haven't
great.
seen Scorpio in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Feels like, so I'm like, come on.
I don't know what's going on, but that got derailed real quick. English basically the same.
No. Say, let's focus on this instead, rather than getting in trouble with all the English and Australian people. Thank you for Prairie Pro Wrestling. Awesome new show here. Both of you are fantastic. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
We love you. I can't stop. Can't stop me now. Sorry. You lit the fire.
Stop. Won't stop. Here we go. It's on. We do a quick Revolution commercial. We do a few of these. I'll say it once here and then leave it be, because this is probably me being an old man yelling at the clouds. But I get a little annoyed at the proliferation of AEW advertisements on ROH. And yes, I'm aware that they're the same parent company. Yes, I get that functionally the checks are all the same. I get it. But I don't know. Maybe this is just me, and let me believe that this is still its own little plucky independent entity scraping along. And I don't know. Is that weird? Like, it feels weird to me.
No, it's okay. It's that return on investment, right? Like, are all AEW fans ROH fans? No, but are all ROH fans AEW fans?
Probably a significant chunk.
Right. That's a good return on investment. And I get it from a business standpoint, but I totally understand. But I want to see commercials for other things. Like, when is Super Card of Honor going to be? You haven't announced it. It's February 8th.
Yeah.
Hello.
Could you use those spots as interviews with our world champion? Could you use those spots as vignettes for a talent that's coming in 2 weeks? I don't know. I'm throwing out a number. Could you could that time be used more productively to promote something else? I mean, obviously you don't necessarily need ads for Honor Club because you're clearly already watching.
Yeah, right.
You're already there. But
I mean, I don't even mind when they do the commercials for like the new mobile game, right? The Rise to the Top. It doesn't have anything to do with ROH, but I don't mind those kind of, or like AEW heels. They haven't done one of those in a while. Like we talk about Ring of Honor things, you know, with AEW heels, but it's like I get where you're coming from, and I'm feeling a little, because they mentioned on commentary, even I'm remembering of All In, but they're like, oh, be a part of history once again, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm just spitballing stuff, and I'm not naive. I fully recognize the business aspect of it and recognize why it's frankly probably a good idea to do. But I can recognize that and still be slightly annoyed by it.
I get it.
Like heck, you've got a feature when you log into Honor Club that says, "God, with Lord Alfred Hayes."
Listen,
can someone do Lord Alfred Hayes' voice?
I don't think I can.
Promotional consideration paid for by AEW.
That was good. That was good. I like it.
When you log into Honor Club, there's the little row of videos that's like this week in ROH history, and it's little matches from cards from different things. Like you could do one of those. Oh, thank you. My kids like my impressions too, but I think they're just saying that. I don't know.
Hey, kids are honest, so.
But no, like you could use one of those spots. Promote a match on Honor Club. Like, hey, here's this thing that happened this week in ROH history.
I get that, because I mean, I think the first time I ever logged into, you know, Honor Club, I have Ring of Honor DVDs, you know, in the living room. It's one of those things that, oh, you know, like you said, this week in history, or they have all those compilations, like the AJ Styles compilation. They have, you know, the CM Punk one, which is like first in the carousel.
Yeah,
on their website.
There was a Bryan Danielson one from his world title run, I think. Too.
Adam Cole one.
Give me more of those. They did a great Chris Hero DVD release. Curate some of that. Like, you have stuff that you could. I know we're rambling again. Here we go. This is going to be fun.
That's the show.
It's the show, baby. I guess we should probably move on, since we're only about to get to our third match of the night.
Yeah, we're about to get into our third match. Are you guys having fun? Tell me. Put a little smiley face in the chat, or like, you know, green heart or something, or tell us how good we look. Like, hey, that was a nice hair swoop.
I know. I tried. Oh gosh. Well, match 3. Penta Acero Miedo and Vikingo against John Cruz and KM. Here was John Cruz doing like you said earlier, just eating John it. Cruz. Oh,
stunning, babe. Stunning.
Love it.
It's good to see Penta back on ROH.
Yes,
it's good. I love him.
I had a moment, since we were complaining about titles earlier, where I thought to myself, does anyone remember that Penta is actually a former ROH World Tag Team Champion?
Did they bring it up on commentary?
I had almost forgotten. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. But Penta and Phoenix won the tag titles at the first Supercard of Honor under the new regime. Before Honor Club
at that.
In the ladder match, where it was the Reach for the Sky ladder match that was going to honor Jay Briscoe and you know and the Lucha Brothers, who had made friends with Mark, got both of them.
You can't have my password, but you can come over and watch it with me anytime. So
there you go. That feels like a danger. I don't know.
Listen, partying at my place.
There you go.
Bringing the chips and guac. Yeah. The crowd.
No extra charge for the guac either. Love it.
Listen, I won't charge for extra for the guac. No way. You showed up to my house, so just know if you try any funny business, I know how to put you in a couple holds. So
There might be some people who would pay extra for that.
Yeah, I take that back. I don't want that. No. Oh. Okay, so the match, right? So
yeah, let's get back to that. Let's get back to that.
But the hashtag free guac, free Auntie Collins, free guac. Okay. So we're talking about this match, and the crowd was what I put in my notes over here is that the crowd was cheering for Penta. And one thing that I love about a good ROH crowd is when they're into it, when they're cheering more than just, yeah, woo, that they're making their own little chants. They're kind of taking ownership of their excitement. They're participating.
Yes.
I love a good participation.
It's the best, and like there's it's not hard to go into ROH history and find a crowd of less than 1,000 people that is as loud or louder than some of those stadium crowds that you hear. Like it's absolutely amazing, and that's what does my heart good about ROH.
Oh my gosh. Perfectly normal. Sure. Oh.
That's what they all say.
Oh my goodness.
I loved Caprice early on describing Penta and Vikingo as violently fast.
Like, is he wrong?
Yeah, is he wrong? Not. That's why I loved that. That's it. It's spot on, and definitely. I said in my notes that is definitely not incorrect.
Kyle, do you remember in like elementary school when everybody had to run the mile? Right?
I do.
There's always that one kid who would always do like a 5-minute mile that took it so seriously that they needed to like go so fast. And you're like, I am not messing with that. I don't want that. Like because I'm confrontational, but when I know that I'm outmatched, nope, we're not. I'm not going to try it.
That was absolutely not me, but yes.
I was a walker because why would I
I played football. Cool. I was more like bursts over short distances. That was where I was at. Like distance no.
I always got the Collins could participate a little bit more in gym class, but I loved basketball. But what I mean is that those people who are so focused on their goal, they're so targeted, they rarely miss. Bye, Melonhead.
Thanks for stopping in. It is we're gonna try. We're gonna keep rolling. We'll see how long this episode goes. You can come back and check it out on YouTube later on. It'll be live on YouTube shortly after it ends. You can watch it later. It'll be just as good. Promise.
Yes, just as good, if not better, because then you know that it was happy at the end. Yeah. But it's scary how fast and how direct. And that's how I see Penta and El Hijo del Vikingo. I have to think about it. Sorry. But both of them, yes, being dangerously fast going, but they're so precise. They rarely miss. Things just hit. And I love that John Cruz, KM was trying to get a John Cruz chant going.
He's trying so hard.
He's trying so hard. And in my heart, I was like, Cruz. Like
and Ian just subtly burying him. Like, the tongue quite the same. Poor John. Although I'll call out and I appreciate the little touches that John goes for in his matches that make his a lot of times he's still kind of a squash victim, but he makes it a little bit more memorable, a little bit more fun. He tried to intercept Penta did the little glove toss to Alex Abrahantes on the outside, and John tried to intercept the glove as it went over his head, and like the classic photo of Samoa Joe doing the walk away spot and watching John Cruz just shrugging in midair as he's about to crash and burn. Like tremendous stuff.
This match was really great. I always have fun watching all of those people in the match. When I do remember when Vikingo did get tagged in, there was a spot that it was like electric, like it felt like electricity to me because it wasn't just like a hot tag. It was like okay, like that pointed, you know, that pointed accuracy. Things are going to get done. We're going to see bam, bam, bam. Here we go. Up on the rope, down on the rope,
Yeah.
in and
We
out
are
of the
shifting
ring.
into another gear.
It's, yeah. And it's exactly how I wanted this tag match to go. It kind of started, okay, we're getting the introductions in. And then all of a sudden that shifted gear, like you had said, it hit. And I didn't want the tag match to end, even though I knew it was going to end.
I would remember being a little surprised that it got. I had it timed at 7:11. I felt a little surprised that it got 7 minutes. I felt like it would have been probably a sub 5 kind of thing, but
Yeah.
they had some good stuff. They got to play with KM using his size and power a little bit more against the smaller Vikingo, especially, and little stuff. Like I've got a note about the hammer throw into the corner where KM just lays out on it just to get that little bit of extra oomph into it. And I love that little thing. That's such a little forgettable thing, and I love it because it's just indicative of that extra effort. It justifies that big turnbuckle bump, and it's like, I love little stuff. What can I say?
Yeah, I enjoyed the storytelling that they were going through. As they went through, we said 7 minutes. I was like, really? That was 7 minutes? I was having fun the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that momentum did shift with those two, with Penta and Vikingo, when they both had to double team up on KM in an attempt to pin him, which was broken up by John Cruz. But that was kind of like oh my gosh, they have to, two people have to, team up against one wrestler. Can they do this? Can they win? And we know that at the end, there was a stomp or a double stomp or whatever on the top rope from Penta onto John Cruz on his
and then he ate that package pile driver and the Fear Factor, and that was it. That was his night.
It. The 1, 2, 3. But I had fun watching that match. What about you?
I did. I like to find little stuff like that to enjoy. So and this was a lot of fun. I love the dynamic of KM sort of tossing around Penta and Vikingo. I love when guys who are about to get wrecked get to show a little bit of personality and have a little bit of fun, and the crowd gets into it too. And I remember being at a show in Dayton years ago when they had, I don't even remember who they brought in to be under the mask. I think it was somebody from backstage that they put under a mask as the masked Chicago superstar. and the Dayton crowd immediately launched into a "Let's Go Jobber" chant that he danced along with, and then just got immediately crushed by Matt Stryker. Stryker with a Y, not the commentator Matt Stryker, the other guy from not the commentator, another Matt Stryker.
A different Matt. There's two.
Yeah, this was Matt Stryker with a Y. He was mostly famous for having a unibrow, but
that's cute.
He was a decent technical wrestler in the early to mid 2000s, and he was briefly a thing on ROH shows around the Midwest. But
wow, I'm just learning so much. Thank you. I'm over here just being a fangirl of ROH, and Kyle's over here with, actually, let me tell you some knowledge. Okay, I'm here. Tell me stories.
I have that show on DVD. It's a fun show too. It was actually the first ROH show I was ever at live, and it also featured one of the most ridiculous 4-ways that I had ever seen, and it was Samoa Joe, Jack Evans, Delirious, and
yeah.
Touche.
Yeah. Yes.
thank you.
Human ROH Encyclopedia.
But it was Samoa Joe, Jack Evans, Delirious, and Ebitaro or Ebasan, who's from works Japan mostly, but does a lot of comedy stuff. And it was Jack Evans, which was deep in his phase of wanting to slam dance and dance battle against everyone. It was Delirious being delirious, and it was Ebitaro just genuinely being wacky. At one point, Ebitaro and Delirious went into a slow motion sequence, and anyway, that whole show is a lot of fun. It's called The Final Showdown. Super fun. Anyway,
send it to me in the DM, or I'll just come over.
It might even be on Honor Club. It's from 2000. It was during. Let's see. It was during Aries' title reign, so that would have put it around 2005.
Do I remember 2005? Oh my gosh. Okay, this is the best part of the entire show. Is up next.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Yes. Well, we do have Billie Starkz backstage briefly. Lexi tried to give her some notification that Nyla Rose wanted to call a minion empowerment meeting. An MEM. And Billie is not having it. Says if Nyla wants to talk to her, she can find her after her match. And the only note I have on this is poor Lexi, always caught in the middle.
Always caught in the middle. Honestly, with the way that Nyla has treated Billie, I wouldn't want to see her. I wouldn't want to be in that meeting. We all know what Nyla's up to. And
let's be real, the meeting could probably be an email.
Yeah. I hope this email finds you well. The way it finds me is
actively on fire.
Yeah. No, I am a skull. I am a bag of bones now.
But yes, now one of the best parts of the show.
That's why everyone's here, right?
You need to let us know in the chat what you thought of this, because I feel safe in saying that we both thought this was amazing.
This was amazing. Oh my god, I was losing. So to be honest, I was finishing up my workday and I have Ring of Honor on in the background. It's fine. Don't tell anyone, okay? But I have it on in the background and I'm hearing it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? And I'm making sure that nobody is walking by my desk, nothing is happening, and I'm just so enthralled and I'm crying. Like crying, laughing to the point that someone was like above my desk, like cubicle, being like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. It's fine. I'm clocking out of work. I'm here. This was so good. Oh.
For those unaware, Johnny TV made his entrance, and then Dalton's music hit, but the screen identified him as Hombre de Pavo Real de Montaña, which literally translates to Mountain Peacock Man.
I'm sorry. We've been teased. We've been teased with Dalton Castle's mystery friend this whole time, and it just I want to know. I mean, he's very real. It is definitely, yeah.
Yeah. I had to work up my Spanish accent there. I don't know. It's good.
Listen, don't have me try, because my in-laws, they tell me he's not great. He's not great. Very, very gringa over here. I'm sorry. Oh, honestly, if you watch any of the show, you have to watch this part because it's so good. And because just the look on Johnny TV's face and Taya's face when the mystery friend comes out. Pavo Real de Montana, right? Is that it? Did I do a good job?
I think it's supposed to be a tilde over the end, so it's supposed to be Montaña.
Montaña. Oh. Woo.
I think because that would make it Mountain Peacock Man.
In
And
my notes here.
In a Columbia jacket,
Yeah.
a wool cap, and a beard with glasses.
If I was more prepared, had I known that this would happen, I would have gotten the same fake beard. They should sell that on the shop. They should. I
just shaved. I almost had that level of beard. And my daughter was horrified that I did this. Like, there's still something there. She's like, I don't care. It's awful.
Listen,
Thanks. Love you.
I've always wanted a beard. Honestly, always wanted one. Now I want one because. So allegedly, this mystery friend is just Dalton Castle in a fake beard, glasses, the coat. What did you say it was? A Columbia coat?
Yeah, I think it was a Columbia jacket.
Yeah.
And he claimed that he only used the name in Spanish because he's trying to learn Spanish.
Yeah, he's trying to learn Spanish.
And because who has time?
That's great. I know who has time. Honestly, if this is where we would have a paid partnership with Duolingo or Babbel, I mean, come on, oh my gosh, an entire vignette series of Dalton Castle just learning Spanish. But like, do you remember? Did you watch the Be in the Elite where they had like a Spanish word that wrestlers were trying to teach, and it was usually a bad word. Of
course. Obviously.
Do that. That would be incredible. I would be totally down. But yes, this was the best part.
Unfortunately, Johnny TV is not buying this at all. He is convinced that this is some sort of chicanery and that this is in fact Dalton Castle in a crummy disguise.
Listen, he probably paid $50 for that. Well, the Columbia jacket was probably like $70 alone. So,
but it turns out that he was right, and it is in fact Dalton Castle. I didn't see it coming.
Honestly,
but
I think the Sasquatch noises.
I was ready for Peacock Mountain. I was ready for Mountain Peacock Man to make his ROH debut. But
Mountain Peacock Man, I wanna be a Mountain Peacock Man. Mountain. Peacock Man.
You can team Mountain Peacock Man with the Sussex County Chicken, Mark Briscoe.
Let's go. Let's do it. But But I mean, at the end, Dalton Castle did take off his disguise once he was found out. But he declared that he is still not TV ready.
He needs to smash Johnny TV's face.
I mean,
smash it. That's a whole lot of protein in the peacock and the chicken. Yes. But yes, he was sorry for the ruse, but he is so exhausted. He's just tired of chasing Johnny and wants him to get in the ring and fight. And Johnny says no because you smell like cheese.
Honestly.
And
is there anything? Is there? I think of a bunch of worse things to smell like than cheese.
Maybe it depends on the cheese. Maybe it depends on the cheese, though.
Yeah. There's some stinky feet cheeses,
There you go. And of course, Johnny drops the "you have nothing I want," and there's your conjuring word. Because Dalton, of course, goes into "I will give you anything you want," and Johnny says, "Okay, I'll tell you what I want next week."
Next week.
And Dalton just melts. He is absolutely over this and does not know how to deal with it anymore.
I mean, frankly, it's wrestling edging. Like, it just keeps going on and on. I just want the explosion at the end.
Okay, and we're clipping that, I'm sure now.
Wrestling edging.
Oh my!
Oh,
This got TVMA so gradually I didn't even notice it.
listen, it's already past everyone's bedtime, so
Exactly.
you're
My
welcome.
kids have been asleep for a couple hours at this point. It's fine. And we'll see what Dalton's going to be putting on the line next week. OLE After Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag that. Come on.
We did have a match at one point in the original ROH in the Sinclair era around 2018 or 19, when Dalton was feuding with Silas Young, where he put the boys on the line, and Silas won the boys for a few weeks or 30 days or something like that.
Oh my gosh, the boys, poor boys.
Although it would be rough for them, but I gotta admit it would be entertaining as heck to see what Johnny and Taya did with the boys.
Honestly, put them in beards. Wear the same Columbia jacket. Let's go.
I would be entertained by this, and just in case you were concerned, we will get to see a little bit later on in the show Dalton's perfectly calm, rational reaction to all of this. But this was not a match, but it was a lot of fun, and 100% go back if you haven't seen this episode. Go back on a. First of all, why are you watching this? I mean, we're very entertaining. I'll give us that, but go watch that episode.
Listen,
you can come back and watch us on demand or something.
How much? How much is it a month? I totally forgot.
I think it's still the $9.99 price point, $10 a month. And if Final Battle is an indication, we're getting the pay-per-views as part of the deal now. I hope that's the case moving forward.
It'd make all of this so worth it. But I
can't imagine why you wouldn't. But
they need to make the website a little more user friendly for some of those casuals, because it's one thing that, like, I watch it on my Fire Stick, I watch it on my phone, I watch it on my computer. Yeah. It's all the different interface, and
I'm mostly watching on my Roku, but I've occasionally watched on my phone, my computer. There's different options, but yeah, then again, I'm also a person that, and you are too, we work with computers as a living, so it's like you're a little bit. It's a little bit easier. You can figure it out, but
yeah.
Marketing 101: make the bar to entry as low as possible.
Oh my goodness! All right.
So from that fun, we go backstage to Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty, and this is basically an open invitation. Come change the game. Join Shane Taylor Promotions. Yes.
Everything Shane Taylor has ever done. I've never known everything about wrestling. For a very long time, I only knew of ROH from, borrowing DVDs from my friends and having is a faraway place. It's the East Coast, I don't know, it's an obscure area, to, becoming WWE centric for so long. Yeah. And now I feel like everything that Shane Taylor has ever done has been sprinkled in my almost 25 years of watching wrestling, that it's like I'm just now piecing together, like, oh, you've been here, and now it's all clicking and making sense. Like, I feel like Charlie, with all the pieces, everything is connecting now. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I should put back here instead.
Oh yeah, just have a green screen with the Charlie. Yeah, great, love it.
But I like this side of him. I like that, this character is coming back to life, coming back to ROH, and adding the element of Lee Moriarty in there, because, not a lot of people know or have been invested in Lee Moriarty. So
yeah, a little bit more of a serious, dedicated support behind him, and making sure that he's a thing rather than making him another disposable henchman. And oh my god, I'm not sure that there's somebody in ROH that was more hurt by the pandemic
Mhm.
than Shane Taylor.
Yeah.
Because pre-pandemic, that he looked like he was going to the top. He is a guy who is going to be the tippy top of Ring of Honor. He was going to be in the world title mix. He looked to me like he was going to be there. And the pandemic shut everything down, and ROH couldn't find its footing after coming back, and the empty studio concept wasn't really working. And
it's hard when you tie your wagon to something like, that's not a sure deal, right? Like, it's not as mainstream, per se. And the fact that he really secured himself to ROH kind of made it synonymous with him. But, ROH, 2017, 16, like ROH was like the coolest ish ever. And I remember like an ROH show, it was like packed.
yeah.
Very strangely, where it's like, wait a minute, this is my niche thing. Why are all these people here? And then, the pandemic really did hurt it. And
I felt like it was a 1-2 punch. The Elite leaving was an absolute killer for them.
mm-hmm.
And just as it felt like they were starting to find their footing and starting to figure things out, the pandemic came through and shut a lot of things down. And it was just a rough few years. And ROH they really struggled to find their identity after the Elite left. It's why you saw Jay Lethal go back on top for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You needed some kind of a stabilizing force, and they didn't feel like they really had it. You saw Matt Taven win the world title, and I'll stand up for Matt Taven. I think he is criminally underrated. I think he's great at what he does, and I feel like he takes a lot of blame that he doesn't necessarily deserve for being the guy to tout that title through a really ugly time.
Yeah. He's always been the nicest guy, so I always want to see him succeed. So I always want to give him my flowers, and he's so nice. But with the show that we're talking about right now,
probably should go back.
But Shane Taylor and they are setting up what we know is going to be this 8-man tag team match, but that hasn't happened yet.
Yes, but good for Shane Taylor. Good for Shane Taylor Promotions. Let's see them expand. Let's see Lee Moriarty into the pure division. Let's see Shane Taylor get a main event level push. Can we get Shane Taylor versus Eddie Kingston?
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
And the violence that'll come out of that.
I think it's in due time. It'll happen.
I'll be waiting. That's going to be good stuff. From there, anything else you want to add about STP there?
No. We'll talk more about it when we get to the match.
We will. Lexi is backstage looking for Maria Kanellis. Maria finds her, takes her to point out, oh, look, the baby boys are destroying Serpentico backstage. Angelico comes to help, seemingly runs them off. They jump him from behind too, except it's actually not Serpentico. It's just a guy that they put Serpentico's mask on. I'm not even sure who it was. I didn't even recognize him.
I didn't recognize him. I just was like, oh, okay.
Because the real Serpentico in the all-black mask comes to run them off and call them a bad name in Spanish.
See, they should be learning those names in Spanish. That should be the thing.
It's a great opportunity for them. I think we're missing the boat here. So that was rough, and it's good for the baby boys to be getting a little bit more serious. I mean, I was enjoying Himbo Cole Karter.
Himbo.
I thought
this really is.
I was gonna say. I mean, I don't think it's wrong, but
No,
I mean, I was enjoying that aspect of it, and his constantly trying to impress Maria with all of his nonsense. But the more serious edge is working as well, and so it's going to be a good way for them to sort of climb the ranks a bit.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
we'll get to that in a little bit. So we get to match 5. Billie Starkz in singles action against Arya Thorn.
I never heard of her before.
I hadn't either. I was busy writing other notes. I didn't actually get time to look up her cage match or her Pro Fight DB or anything else. But it was fine. It was fine. Not the real meat came after Leyla showed up with a table and a white fur coat and a cowboy hat and bedazzled pink cowboy boots.
That's how I want to be buried. Okay, that's everything. That's going to be my ghost outfit. Yeah, for sure.
There was no judgment. I'll note there was no judgment from me on this. Nyla was serving it up in that, though. Is that a thing that kids say still? I don't know.
Serve it up. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I've never heard that.
No, you probably never should again. If it ever was good, the second I said it, it just dropped dead.
Oh my gosh.
But the Nyla arriving with a table instantly pulled the crowd out of the match, though.
Yeah.
Instantly.
I do think that commentary had mentioned that Billie was being a little bit more heavy-handed, a little bit more aggressive. And I mean, she's our little baby child. Every person that watches this, Billie Starkz is our collective child, right? So to see her blossom into her own is great. But during this match was like, oh, she's like putting her full weight into some of these blows, some of these punches. And, it's a little mean streak. She's being a little bit of a Dioc,
Somebody's doing the work for us. Thanks. Train by Booker T's ROW, Reality of Wrestling. There you go. Rachel Rose.
I know that I looked on Cage Match, and it looks like she did have a dark match for AEW under that Rachel Rose. Yes, I was happy.
Oh, get it? Because Rose and Thorn. Okay.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, how adorable. I love little name things like that.
Little Easter eggs. Love it. But yeah, I know we saw a little bit of that with Billie before Final Battle as well. Mm-hmm. You started to see her sort of taking Athena's lessons to heart. And now that Nyla has taken out Athena and is sort of starting to lean on Billie, you're seeing that come out again. And it's nice to be able to switch in and out of that gear. And that will serve Billie well moving forward.
I mean, we also saw Billie towards, the end of this match, showboating, hot dogging and grandstanding, getting a little bit of the cheekiness. And I feel like that's going to come back, and it's that little plop of Easter egg. It's going to come back sometime. And we saw kind of at the end of the show that we'll talk about, a little bit of what's to come. Mm-hmm. But she did get a little bit distracted, and when Arya tried to get a quick win, it kind of rattled her a little bit. And I like that, storytelling, those little bits during the match that, it kind of had to refocus her of, oh my God, I can't lose to this nobody. I can't just, do that in front of Nyla when I just was tailing off Nyla, But
yep. But
oh my goodness.
She did tap her out. I had the time at 3:53. I couldn't pinpoint the move. It kind of looked like a cross-faced chicken wing almost.
Yeah.
Similar, only sort of bent back. And in any event, got the tap out win. And At which point Nyla sets up the table and has set up the table already and is pretty much lays down the gauntlet. Are
It's the
you
rule
with
of the
me?
table.
Yeah.
You
Are
set
you
up the
with me,
table.
or do you go through the table?
Yep.
It's Chekhov's table.
Mm-hmm. And
might
then all of a sudden,
might be a bit of a deep cut for some of our viewers. I don't know, but we'll roll with it. It'll be an educational moment.
Education. We love it. From Encyclopedia Kyle Starkz.
Education on OLE After Dark.
Yeah. Oh, but Nyla Rose put out the offer, said, okay, be a good little minion, or she'll have to put her through the table. And then she grabbed the mic from her and she said she had a surprise, because who doesn't love surprises?
Everyone loves surprises. And the Texas crowd really loved this surprise because it was Athena's music hit.
Athena! I don't want to sing that song because it's so good. And also I can't do that. But her music hit and that crowd lit up. It was so good. I love when Athena's back. I love how dominant she is. And when she appeared behind Nyla, I was sorry, I didn't mean to scream.
I think that
Hashtag forever champ. Yes.
I think that might be. I feel like that might make her officially babyface at this point, just because of the fact that that's the classic babyface move. You get the heel turned around, looking at the entryway, and you sneak through the crowd behind them, and one forearm later, it's Nyla going through the table and taking a dive through that table too.
Oh, I need a minion number. Yes. Number.
From what I understand by the shirt on shophonor.com, and Athena will give you one.
Perfect. I love that. But yeah, the thing that I love about Nyla is she's gonna serve. She's gonna you give her a job, she's gonna do the job. And her going through that table, also foreshadowing a little Easter egg of what's gonna happen. But you see the impact that she goes through the table, and the thing that Billie and Athena don't realize is, yeah, we just put away this heel. We got him. We got him, guys. We got him put through the table, and we know Nyla's not going to let that slide.
Have you seen the horror movies that have a sequel where you think the bad guy's dead at the end of the first movie?
Are you talking about Saw?
And then their eyes open and then smash cut to black and
yeah. Whew. Come on. Have me peeing my pants over here.
It's only one of the oldest tropes in the book. I can't believe you didn't see it coming.
I can't believe it, and I'm over here going, I can't believe it.
But our heroes get a victory over the native beast Nyla Rose at this point. Put her through the table. They steal her cowboy hat, which is just unforgivable.
You never steal a woman's cowboy hat.
No wonder she. Spoilers. No wonder she comes back.
Yeah,
you stole the woman's hat.
Those are expensive too. So
it was a nice looking hat.
Yeah, it was. All right.
So then the women's action continues with a four-corner survival. Trish Adora, Kiera Hogan, Diamante, and Leyla Hirsch.
Now, we've kind of seen this dissonance between Leyla and Rachel Ellering building, and commentary really laid in that Leyla Hirsch has not been pinned. The only person to pin Leyla Hirsch is
Athena. Yep. But after tonight...
But let us just spoil it for you. Leyla does get the pin.
We'll skip to the finish.
She gets pinned.
Yeah. Diamante is about to slide a chair into the ring, which in a four-corner survival, as far as that would be legal, which I felt it odd. I think Ian Riccaboni said something on commentary afterwards that Diamante using the chair would have been a disqualification, but it was a 4-corner survival. I don't think that's how that works.
I don't know the rules of the 4-corner survival match.
It's just a 4-way first pinfall win. First fall wins.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've seen it. Maybe there's no DQ, so I guess there wouldn't really be a way to.
In general, you can't DQ somebody in a 3 or a 4-way because who would be the winner?
Who would be the winner?
Clearly, that person has to be disqualified, but then who wins? In any event, she was going in with the chair. Rachel Ellering steps in, pulls the chair away, distracting the official, distracting Leyla, who then gets rolled up, and Diamante gets her feet on the ropes, and 3 count. Just a little under 5 minutes, and Leyla takes the loss.
You know, I like a quick match, and I hate when women matches don't have long to flesh out what they're trying to do. But I feel like in the 5 minutes they really capitalize. And I don't want Kiera Hogan to get lost in the shuffle here. She was on top for the first half of this match. In my when you're watching it unfold, you kind of know, okay, there's something going on with Leyla and Rachel's outside the ring, and something's going to happen. But I really do love seeing Kiera and even Adora just going at it, because they are fantastic wrestlers. Like, these are just stellar performers. So 5 minutes is okay for what they did. But they definitely are building something, and with that new television title for the women, I'm interested to see that unfold.
I agree, and I agree. You could have taken a minute or two from this, a minute or two from that. You could have taken a minute or two from. You're gonna hate me for this. You could have taken a minute or two from the Penta Vikingo versus John Cruz and KM match.
Okay. I understand.
Maybe a minute, or not much. A minute out of Aaron Solo and Ethan Page. A couple of different things here and there, and you could have gotten this to a solid 8 to 10 minute 4-corner survival that could have given it a little bit more shine to everybody, and they maximized the time that they had, but
right.
I'd like a little bit more, especially given this is also a limitation. Yeah. Well, and this is a limitation of the taping that they're working on right now. The taping schedule that they're working on being, you don't want to exhaust the audience, so you're somewhat limited on what you can do. Whereas there's technically not a limitation on the platform. You could do a 2-hour episode if you wanted to. And give each of your 10 matches like 9 or 10 minutes. But your live crowd for Collision would be, they might die. Like, you're taping 2 hours of Collision, 2 hours of ROH, any other dark matches that you have. All of a sudden, it's 5 hours from when you walked in the door, and you're trying to remember where you live.
Yeah, where's my car? Where do I go? I'm cranky. I get it. But it was a good match.
That guy behind me did not stop yelling all night long.
The last time so Wrestle Dream weekend was the last series of AEW shows that we went to. And the night before at Collision, I had to take a special candy because the person behind me was just in my ear and mansplaining everything and getting it wrong to the point that I was like, we gotta leave.
I'm not. The getting it wrong part doesn't surprise me in the least.
I can't remember what they said. It was so bad. It's gonna come to me at like 2 a.m. and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I can't wait to tell everyone next time. But it was so like incorrect that it was almost comical. But
that's good times. Don't be that guy at wrestling shows, please. anybody watching, don't be that guy. And I say guy very specifically for a reason.
But great match. Did exactly what it was supposed to. Was the interview, I didn't write it down, was the interview with Rachel and Leyla right after this? Did they do a
They had another match. They had an all-in promo after this, the 8-man tag, and then
they did that.
interview.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of where we're building up to something. Because
the pecking order in the women's division, especially surrounding that TV title, is very fluid.
It's anyone's game here.
It could make for a really fun division and a really fun tournament, depending on how big they want to make it.
I'm into it. All right, so you had mentioned this 8-man tag team match. It was a lot. It was a lot packed into a little bag, but it was a lot in a little bag.
It was Cole Karter and Griff Garrison, the Baby Boys, teaming with Shane Taylor Promotions of Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty.
So strange.
And arguably, the other team was just as weird. And you had the Infantry teaming with the Iron Savages.
Okay, they kept saying something about being sauced, like they were all sauced.
That's because Jack Jameson has the Savage sauce.
Is it an actual sauce?
It's something that's in that shaker that they carry with them to ringside that Ian Riccaboni has described as smelling like gasoline mixed with burning chocolate.
Burning chocolate. Yep. Oh, Bronson. Yes, Ed. Listen, you give me some Bronson and you can ruin my life. That's fine. Ruin my life for me, please. So we have a big boy on each side. We got some fast boys. We got, I always love Sean Dean. So good. We've got their, fantastic, ring athleticism. Just a great match packed into one thing.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun, and we had a fun moment when Carly Bravo sipped some of the Savage sauce, and then proceeded to scream his head off, take a hot tag, continue screaming after every move he executed.
I mean, you would too if you had gasoline.
And eventually circled the ring and just beat up everyone ringside. With the exception of Maria, of course.
And she was holding Serpentico's green mask, which was hard to miss because it's bright green. But it was like a trophy. And
yes, that was their trophy they took from Serpentico a couple weeks ago. And it's why Serpentico is now in the all-black mask. I
mean, I'm guessing it's just Fireball. Oh my gosh, Ed.
I can't with Fireball. I haven't been able to do with Fireball for about 10 years.
Oh, the last time I drank Fireball was I was drinking Fireball and Sprite, just one after the other. Not great. Don't do that. Do not recommend that. But
yeah.
But as we're going through this match, the Iron Savages were just rip-roaring through everyone. Drink it with Angry Orchard. Ed, you trying to get me drunk here? That sounds great. Fantastic.
Tomorrow's Friday, It's...
Yeah. that's after dark. But during this match, I liked the size difference, and that's what I, wanted to kind of focus on this match, is that each side had a big boy, right? And Moriarty and Cole Karter attempted to take down. How else do we watch AEW ROH? That's true.
Ed. I did the Final Battle post show with Ed, and his. He's not as big a fan of ROH as we are. Let's say that.
Listen, it's okay.
He's an ROH skeptic, but we'll win him over yet.
I'm going to do it, Ed. Just you wait. But Moriarty and Cole Karter attempted to take down Boulder, but it was just so... That was like a funny part in the match, just watching the attempt to take down Bronson, because
Yes.
you know.
And eventually we got Boulder versus Shane Taylor facing off.
Oof.
The big boys.
Big boys, meaty men, slapping meat. Give it to me.
And somewhere Big E got a smile across his face, and he wasn't even sure why.
Oh. I was about to say R.A.P. That's not
No,
true.
He was literally on whatever that WrestleMania thing was tonight.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. Meaty Men Invitational. Listen, invite me. Let them both ruin my life. This is not what this is about. No, okay, but I loved
that's okay.
Meaty Men slapping me. That's all we wanted to watch. If you can have that during a tag match where there are meaty men, just slap each other. Do all the things.
Yep, sold. Lee Moriarty does get the pin on Carly Bravo with his that sort of vertical suplex into a flatliner that he does.
So good looking. Oh.
And yeah, this got about 10 minutes, and it was just a lot of fun. Guys everywhere. Like you said, I loved that it kind of ran the gamut. We had technical skill, we had high flying, we had athleticism, we had power, we had a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. I love a little variety bag. I love it. But at the end of the match, we have Serpentico attempting to retrieve his mask from Maria.
He almost gets it. He beats up the baby boys from behind, and he actually gets the mask back. But it took too long to get back from Maria and the tug of war, and they recover and beat the daylights out of him and take it back.
So, the numbers game got to him yet again.
And I'm going to go with one more. Well, not one more. There's probably going to be plenty more ROH older references over the course of this episode. But Serpentico and the Black Mask. And it's not going to be to this level, obviously, but it just gave me El Generico in the Black Mask. After Kevin Steen turned on him, and through that whole story, when he first came back, this was during the HD Net days too, and he came back with the all black mask, no white accoutrements, no nothing. It was about as plain a mask as you could possibly imagine, all matte black. And
I love it. I'm here for it. That was a great time of ROH. For sure.
I still go back. I rated that in a previous show I did. Myself, when I did it with Kylie, we rated our top 5 fights without honor, and that was my number 1, easily my number 1.
I hope El Generico is building orphanages.
I hope so too. His friend Sami Zayn is doing well for himself, but it El Generico is for the children.
Mm-hmm. All right. We want to jump into the next match.
Now we go back to Rachel and Leyla.
Mm-hmm.
Where Rachel does get to apologize for inadvertently screwing up. She knows Leyla can handle her business, but she was her friend. She tried to help, and recognizes that she really screwed up.
And I think that Rachel did a great job of sounding, sorry, sounding genuine. But I don't think that Leyla is believing her. I think that it from the way that, Leyla looked, especially as they left, she's not believing a word she says.
I'm not sure either one is believing the other, and it could be a lot of fun to play with that with Rachel too, especially does she still feel put out that Leyla was always the one that Maria wanted.
And anytime someone goes, I have your back 100%, if you have to emphasize, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would never betray you. Like, would
Also,
you?
everyone says 100%. Nobody says, I have your back 78%.
Listen.
No, you know what? You're going to be upset about it? Fine, 74.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. No.
Nope. 69.
Nice.
Nice. Thank you.
Shout out to Kate, wherever she's at.
Oh, love her. Love her. But I feel like that's going to set up something later down the line for Leyla and Rachel, which Rachel needs her flowers. I want to see everything, and I want to see everything with Leyla. I just think that because Rachel Ellering has a special place in my heart. She's one of my absolute favorite.
There you go. The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. They spell disaster for anybody that's coming for me because Ed's got my back. We're going all sorts of different directions here.
I feel like
at one point,
I don't have enough chainmail on, and I'm not tan enough for this.
No, I'm not either. Now, at one point, I feel like I fantasy booked Rachel winning the TV title tournament over Leyla in the finals, and I tied it to the Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards men's TV title tournament from the HDNet era, because they were sort of a team and they were together and they wound up fighting, but everybody thought that Davey was the guy who was going to be going on to bigger and better things, and but no, it was Eddie who was sort of not as was a little bit more slept on at that moment that rose up and beat him and became the first TV champion. And I'm like, Rachel Ellering over Leyla Hirsch.
All right.
Like,
you
I
heard
see
it
the
here.
vision.
Clip it right
I see
here.
the vision.
Clip it.
And so I would not be averse to Rachel over Leyla in the TV title finals.
All right. So it's going to happen.
Mostly because I feel like the world title is still where Billie Starkz needs to go. But
that would be... Yeah, we can fantasy book. Yeah.
That'll be a whole other thing. We're rapidly approaching longer than the actual show ran. So
yeah. Okay.
Match 8, Gravity, who, in case you didn't know, Ian Riccaboni will remind you, is Bandito's little brother, former ROH World Champion Bandito's little brother, taking on Big Shotty Lee Johnson. Solid stuff. The mid card in ROH continues to sort of do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfectly solid. This has been really good for Lee Johnson to be getting these reps, I feel like, because he's not really going to be a guy in AEW that's going to get a lot of attention or spotlight given the way that roster is right now.
So what OSW does this thing where they have a stable, right? In your boys' stable, there's 4 guys who are just they're not the number one guy, but they're in your boys' stable. And Lee Johnson has always been in my boys' stable. He's just a young guy. You know, he's just a little fella. He's just a little lad. And seeing him get wins on ROH week after week is like, okay. Okay, Lee Johnson. Okay. Because he is a skilled wrestler and he does have talent. So seeing him get some wins is great. I love seeing that. And I hate anyone that says anything bad about Lee Johnson.
A little one-off with Lee Johnson and Kyle Fletcher over the TV title. I don't think he put the title on Lee, but as a little one-off TV match on Honor Club one week, that'd be a blast. Come on, tell me you wouldn't like that for
that would be
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Let's go. But it was a great little match between Lee and Gravity. I put that the pace was a little bit slow, especially after the match that we had just had with the 8-man tag. So it was kind of a nice slower pace.
Yeah.
They, the strategy of the entire match was to keep gravity on the ground. They kept making puns about that.
Well,
But
obviously, Ian Riccaboni is a father. Like, that's what we do.
So many puns. I even think that there was a reference to Eminem's "Lose Yourself." But
Wouldn't shock me.
yeah, but we got a frog splash from the top rope. It was really stellar to watch. It did what it was supposed to do, and Lee Johnson got the win over Gravity. Lee Johnson won over Gravity. It's the joke that writes itself, right?
Well, they couldn't wait to do that with Pac as soon as Gravity arrived in AEW ROH. We instantly ran Gravity versus the man Gravity forgot. So, but yeah, no, this was fun. I think it could be interesting to position Lee Johnson in a TV title kind of format, but we'll see where it goes.
We'll see.
And now we get more of the Dalton Castle saga. Lexi going into the dressing room / laundry room.
It's the gift that keeps on giving here.
It's great. And Dalton has no idea what Johnny could possibly want from him. Maybe his wit, maybe his worm farm that he uses for whatever.
Or his perfect blood. How could you miss that? Listen.
Yeah, I was getting
buckets
there.
of perfect blood.
Yeah, buckets.
Oh, what an image. I mean, aren't we just all buckets of blood covered in flesh?
More or less, if we want to get existential about it.
All right, and
OLE is going in a variety of different directions tonight.
That's the ramble.
Love
the
it.
Scramble ramble.
Dalton it looked to me like he was almost playing like he was about to have a heart attack or something. Like he's clutching his chest. He's coming, Elizabeth. We're gonna. There we go. We'll make a reference to that too. We'll make a. Oh my goodness!
He asked for cheese.
He did ask for cheese, which is probably contributing to the smell.
I mean, what kind of cheese do you think that Dalton Castle consumes?
It looked like it was. It looked like it was under normal circumstances, probably some rather nice imported cheeses. But lately, since he's been so exhausted and in such a bad mental space with Johnny TV, I think it's just generic American cheese.
American cheese. Blech.
I think that's just where he's at, and we just need to, hope that he comes out of it soon.
Let's hope so, because American cheese is terrible, and it's doing terrible things to Dalton Castle.
Undoubtedly. He requests cheese. He crawls into what appears to be an industrial dryer and says that and asks Lexi to wake him up in a week. Never mind that never mind that they will not be in that building in a week's time. And Lexi
we don't know that.
And Lexi for her part appears utterly done with all of this at this point.
She needs a raise. She doesn't get paid enough.
She's tried really hard to put up with all of Dalton's nonsense, but she is just done with all of this.
That's fair. All right.
So we'll see what he. I don't know. Let's see. You're not going to be here next week. So what's it going to be? What is Johnny going to ask Dalton to put on the line?
His wife. Trading the boys for the wife. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. I like.
What does Johnny have that the boys? Yeah.
That's kind of my guess, is that we're going to go in that direction, but who knows?
What does Johnny have that Dalton needs?
Johnny has a face that Dalton needs to smash.
Yeah. It's very carnal. We love it. But
and speaking of the TV, Mr. and
yeah.
Mrs. TV. Yeah,
Dalton's sanity.
That's what Johnny. That's
Honestly,
what Johnny has.
Yeah. Same.
Taya Valkyrie is in action as well against Killa Kate, who just lost to Billie Starkz last week. I have in my notes, I don't think it's going to go much better for her tonight.
No.
And it did not.
It did not. Taya looks great. She looks strong. It's exactly how the match was supposed to go. Kate didn't get an entrance, which seemed just as insulting, but Taya's size, her experience, everything.
And Taya's absolutely going into the TV title tournament. You have to imagine.
Yeah. She looks stellar. I mean, she, from her gear to her hair to the way that she's wrestling. I mean, the way that she was tossing Kate like a bunch of groceries, just throwing her around with a brilliant Meteora. It's a great match for a semi squash. Would you call that a squash?
100%.
Yeah. I don't think that Kate had a chance.
No, there really wasn't ever this was never in doubt.
But I did like the element with every 2 count. Did you notice? With every 2 count, Taya's smile got a little bit more sinister, more, okay, let's go. More? You want more? Let's go.
Yeah, I am glad that we get Taya in ROH, but we are absolutely missing the boat having her tear it up with some of these women that are floating around AEW right now as well.
I mean, I'm ready for her to
enjoy. I'm going to enjoy her while she's here.
Yeah, I'm ready for her to let loose. I'm ready for her to dominate. I'm ready. We're all ready for it.
But her and Johnny TV as an act together are fantastic. So I am absolutely willing to sacrifice her much-deserved main AEW roster exposure to continue to get more of them as a thing.
Agreed.
Especially if Johnny's going to be here, and we'll see where he goes. But after this, we do get the announcement that the women's TV title tournament officially begins next week.
Next week. Do you think they'll put out the brackets first, or
I hope
we're just going to go into it blind?
I hope so. We kind of went into it blind we've gone into it blind with tournaments in the past, so I don't know. I assume 8 women. I'm hard pressed to figure which 8 women, because there are plenty that you could drop in there.
So much talent. We could do predictions.
If you're going 8, Billie is in. Leyla and Rachel are in. I think Diamante is in on the strength of this win tonight. I think Taya's in. That gets you 5. I wonder if I think you put Nyla in. That gets you 6. Let's see.
Would you put in Trish, Adora? Do you put in Kiera?
Yeah, and that's going to be who you pick from. Like, those are the obvious ones to me. And then given the last 2 spots, could be Trish Adora, could be Kiera Hogan, could be Mercedes Martinez, could be
Queen
Lady
Aminata.
Frost.
Oh, Lady Frost, yes.
Like, we could keep going. Like,
yeah.
And we did see just slightly. It's unrelated, but like that stopped us before tonight. I did see Tony Khan put out on Twitter that on Collision on Saturday we are going to get Queen Aminata against Timeless Toni Storm.
Oh my goodness! What?
And that should be some fun.
What a showcase! She's great. All right, we're almost at the end.
We finally made it.
We finally made it to our main event.
which was another four-corner survival with Jack Cartwheel, AR Fox, Willie Mack, and Komander. This one was high flying.
So I've only seen this Jack Cartwheel guy from what I've seen on ROH, and he's a lot of fun. He looks like he's having fun. I'm having fun watching him. But he had no opportunity to win in this match because you have AR Fox, who was this his first time back after.
This was his first time back since September.
Yeah.
September 9th of this year. I looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Which his last appearance was in ROH 5 months ago, September 9th, in a win over Tony Nese.
Episode 29. Jeez.
Yeah, it's been a hot second.
It's been a while.
But despite the fact that he's been gone, I did realize when I looked him up, he had won his last 4 matches in ROH. 2 singles and 2 trios matches with Action Andretti and Darius Martin.
Interesting.
So AR Fox hadn't been there, but when he was there, he was on a roll.
Yeah. Well, he did get a good pop from the crowd. Obviously, Komander, brilliant. Never a bad match from him. And Willie Mack, which I love Willie Mack so much. I don't know what they're going to do with, Willie Mack other than just have really good freaking matches,
Yeah.
But the 3 smaller guys ganged up on the big guy. That was kind of the name of the game for this match. But
yeah, flying all over the place. Tremendous stuff. Ian made one of his references that dated me really badly. Jack Cartwheel did that flagpole leg sweep on the apron, and he Ian Riccaboni name drops Harvey Danger, the band. Said he's no Harvey Danger. He's not a flagpole sitter. And I have in my notes, and I'm quoting now, reading directly from my notes. Sir, that song was released in 1997. I'm trying to remember how many people watching were alive at that point.
Whenever I think 1997, I think that was just 13 years ago, but it definitely was not 13 years ago.
It is not.
It
was 27 years ago.
No. Okay. All right, Astrid.
Astrid says I was 6 years old.
I mean, I was 8, so I get it, but also
I was 15. I was in high school when that song came out.
Oh.
See, I'm older than Ed. This is unacceptable.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cackle. Listen, tremendous. But it's one of those things. In '96, the Olympics, that was seared in my brain. So '97, I remember those memories. But to know that there are people that don't remember things that happened in '97, Chicago Bulls, everything that was happening in the Attitude Era of wrestling, it was a great time to be alive. Great time. But so this main event was very great, and
it was a lot of fun. Komander gets Jack Cartwheel in the ring, isolated, hits a springboard destroyer, and even though that's probably enough, it's
sick, absolutely
so
sick,
precision, unreal. But that's not enough. He has to go up and do that top rope walk shooting star press, which is absurd that any human
I don't understand how. I went to a college where there were a lot of people who showed off kind of they would put on little trapeze kind of weird people just they would do it in the middle of the, in the field or whatever, and people would, go around. But to imagine that someone could like balance and walk across that and then do something else with their body that is the two separate are like, wow, phenomenal. Yes, and damned circus folk. These people, and I'm over here. I broke my ankle falling over a broom. Like,
yeah, there are people
real.
who can't do a shooting star press. In this business, there are people who can't do a shooting star press, like standing static on the top rope. He is walking across the rope and getting us enough of a lift point from that. Like it's absurd, utterly absurd, and in the best way.
So talented. But the only thing that was off-putting about this match was the fact the crowd was demanding tables. We want tables.
Yeah,
annoying. Clue. You're annoying me. Like there were no tables.
It's such a thin line for a crowd to go from, yes, you're active, you're engaged, you're not engaged at this point. You're active, yes, but you're clearly not engaged with the product in any meaningful sense at this point.
I didn't understand it. It was just one of those things of, okay, you just want to hear yourself cheer. But it was a little bit distracting for me because there was just a good chunk of this main event that I'm like, I don't know what happened, because I was so like, it's like a fly around your face. Go away. Let me watch some wrestling.
Precisely. This got 10 minutes, so it was one of the longer matches. It might have been the longest match of the night. So let me double check. That's the longest match I had tonight, because of the other one I had was only 9 and change. Yeah, this was my longest match of the night. It was very good. Komander picks up the win.
Komander picking up the win was exactly the great choice. He came out of freaking nowhere, and did a sweet Canadian destroyer, and it's one of my favorite moves is a Canadian destroyer.
Killing the business. Oh my
god. Petey Williams, thank you so much. But he did
Team Canada Petey Williams or Maple Leaf Muscle Petey Williams?
Team Canada. That's a great. Now I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna give you an answer next time. So I'm gonna think about it.
I was with you on Team Canada, honestly. I thought that version.
I think that version at that point, has the destroyer a good place.
Was new, and like it. Yeah,
it's a good place in my heart. But okay, but Komander.
Yep, little pop-up ball. The weird time. Well, we referenced Steiner math earlier, so it's now full circle. Okay,
I know, but yeah, Komander on it, got the win. Great for what it was, and then we panned to what Athena. She said that she wanted to some time to address the crowd.
Yeah, I loved this. Before we get into it too much, I really liked it. We had Ian mentioned during the match that Athena has requested this time.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen after the main event, sort of priming everybody. But then afterwards, literally signing off and saying, yep, we're out. Happy wrestling, everybody. Got in his catchphrase, which is fantastic, by the way, and I love it so much. And kicked it over to the pre-tape, and it was great stuff.
Athena wanted time to address the crowd. It was a pre-tape, went backstage, and it was so cute to see Billie Starkz and Lexi, and they're just like that. Everyone like
Athena was sort of tolerating.
Yeah, sort of tolerating, but it was very cute, and it was, it was exactly what it was. You didn't think anything of it, and she wanted them to go to the car. And
there were green apple Skittles and kittens. Like she had the car packed. It was ready to go.
I'm trying to think, what bag is the green apple Skittles in? I don't know,
but I need to find it.
Yeah, I'm going to find it. But I would go anywhere if someone said, "Oh, go to the car. There's kittens." Oh my God, goodbye. But Athena addressing Nyla Rose directly, the tone shift, and for
Next week
next
won't be
week. But she referred to her as an ant in her kingdom and that she needed to bow down. And out of nowhere, Nyla Rose, she came back for her hat.
Yeah. I like that. That is now accepted headcanon that Nyla would not have come back to do that if they didn't steal her hat.
You didn't. The table, sure, fine, it's wrestling, but the hat,
step too far.
Yeah, but she appeared out of nowhere and she put Athena right through that table, which it was a clean little break. Loved seeing that.
Grabbed herself a nice little orange and.
Did she bite through the orange with the skin on?
I think she did.
Just psycho. Psychotic. At least it wasn't like a banana eating through a banana skin. That's gross. But
yeah, no thanks. Nope.
But Nyla made her statement. She threw her through the table. You don't do that to me. So that's how the show closed. What did you think?
Great stuff. The tone shift from Athena was fantastic. From okay, this is fun silliness, but okay, now it's time to get down to business, and cut a great little intense, fired up babyface promo, and just killed it. God, she's just so good in every aspect, and it's so good to have her back. And it everything feels more dynamic with her here.
I think that's one thing that AW did get right with introducing us to Nyla Rose. Definitely this pillar. She is a huge pillar of the women's division for whatever that was. But seeing her now in a Ring of Honor, it just kind of makes sense. And if she is Athena's next competitor, she is the gatekeeper, Astrid. I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
But thank you. I was trying to click on it. I couldn't click. Oh my God. But I think Athena has had not easy opponents, but definitely smaller bite-size pieces. And I think that she's going to have to either choke or swallow with Nyla when it comes to this piece. So
there've been a few. There've been we did get her against Willow several times. We got her against. Did we do Athena and Stat on the main roster or on the AEW roster before? Yeah. So there's been a few here and there, but for the most part, Trish Adora, her power is I feel like her power is underrated, but it's not quite the same level as a Nyla Rose. That is such a game changer.
It is, and it's final boss mode kind of. So it's the forever champ versus probably the biggest opponent that she's had to face, and I'm here for it. You want to put it on Supercard, you want to extend it out, do it. Put it on freaking AEW television. That shit needs to be seen, and it needs to be seen by a lot of people. So
there's part of me that says put it on Supercard, because that gives us a couple of a month and a half or so to really play with it, really have her mow down Billie Starkz, which I'm sure that's going to be seen as controversial by some people, but Billie will recover. I promise. She has been super protected.
Yeah.
Like, show what a big deal Nyla is in this build to the title, and don't have her just mow through local competitors and nobodies.
Agreed.
Have her put Billie out,
Mm.
kind of thing. Like,
I'm ready for it, but
and we'll see where it goes. But this is a blast, and I think it could be a lot of fun watching her torment Athena all the way to Supercard.
all right, Kyle, what would you rate this episode?
Oh,
We could do a number scale. We could do a letter grade. What did you think?
honestly, I feel like letter grade is probably the easiest, and probably because there's fewer of them to work with. And then I'm going to screw that up anyway by adding pluses and minuses. So it's going to defeat the whole purpose. But solid, probably B or B minus.
Mm-hmm.
It was decent. There wasn't anything blow away in the ring. You advanced a couple stories. It was serviceable. To borrow something from our opening team tonight, it was workmanlike.
Yes. It did. It got the job done. It did. I would agree with that grade. B-ish.
It didn't blow me away, but there was nothing. It wasn't like it was all bad either.
Right. I think that there were some great matches. That's the thing. It's like you interlace these, squasherish matches, the storyline matches, but then you're having Dalton Castle and Johnny TV do this great just work throughout the entire show. So I'm ready for what's to come. And we're ramping up on our way to Supercard of Honor.
Love it. By the numbers tonight, this is a thing that I did for one of my previous shows. I decided to keep doing it. We can either keep it or ditch it. Of the show, I had the show ending at 8:43 p.m. Eastern, which was 103 minutes. I had total in-ring match time of 55:59, so effectively 56 minutes, which is 54.4% of the episode was spent bell to bell in the ring, which is very good.
That's good.
Love to see that. Average match time was 6 minutes and 13 seconds. Over 9 matches on the evening, because I had Johnny TV and Dalton's friend marked as a match, but that did not happen. So because we're gonna have to keep waiting to see the Mountain Peacock, man.
I keep waiting for a match like this.
Oh man,
well,
love it. But this was a lot of this. I had fun.
I had fun. I had fun. Let's ramble again. You want to ramble again? You want to keep doing this?
Absolutely. Let's do this every week, except for next week.
Except for next week. Listen, I'll just take pictures and at the show, and I'll give you a cowboy hat.
Ooh, all right, sold. I'm not sure my wife will know what to do with that.
It sounds fun. All right.
So I guess maybe Ed runs in next week. Maybe Ed
you have to wear a cowboy hat, and you have to have nice hair, get a wig or whatever you want. You gotta live the gimmick here.
We'll see who we're announcing as to fill in next week, and we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. In the meantime, I guess it's probably about that time. So where can the good people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, because I'll never call it X. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, embarrassing the hell out of myself, at _queer auntie. Go ahead and follow me there. Kyle, where can we find you?
I am at Kyle K. Starkz. Definitely on X and on Instagram. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that's my TikTok, but I don't ever actually use it. So because I'm old and deeply out of touch, but
that's the only place that I listen to music. And now that music is gone, I don't know what I'm doing with myself. So
I know I have a 12-year-old daughter at home, and she has you'd think I'd know more about it, but I still very much do not. In any event, basically anything that I do is going to be announced, especially on the Twitter at Kyle K. Sparks. Give me a follow there. I'll be here every Thursday night now for on our local establishment doing Honor Ramble and rambling with you, and it should be a lot of fun. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this first one. I think the rambling was charming, but maybe we can pull it back a little bit in the future. I don't know. We'll play with the ramble levels as we go.
Listen, it is our first episode, our first go. But you know what? We're only going to get better from here, right?
Love it. Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks again so much, everybody, and have a great night.
Bye. Be kind to each other. Don't.